Chapter 38, Lectures from the Iceman by Wim Hof. In November of 2010, an international conference was held in Florida where Professor Hoffman presented her results from my autonomic nervous system test. She presented the results of my experiment from when I stood in a Perspex box full of ice cubes for 1.5 hours. I had a presentation of my own that I prepared for 300 doctors, assistants, and physicians in Europe. I have included that lecture for you here in this chapter to give you an idea of what it's like to attend one of my lectures. Good evening. Let me start off by saying that I'm honored to be here, and I have a lot of respect for everything that you do. I usually don't have a lesson plan for my lectures, so I'd like to start off by showing you a few video clips of me swimming under the ice, climbing snowy mountains in shorts, running a marathon beyond the polar circle, and finally, the research explaining how my body works. Hopefully, these video clips will give you an idea of what my body and mind have been exposed to. I then proceeded to show them some of my videos that have been displayed on YouTube. After the video clips finished, I continue on with the presentation. So, what can we learn from this? Well, I believe that if we can go deep enough into our minds to influence the autonomic nervous system, as well as the immune system, we can prevent diseases from harming our body. How is this possible, you might ask? The cardiovascular system is made up of muscles that we can train. By exposing them to natural stimuli, such as the cold, we can make the muscles stronger. This is as easy as taking a 5-minute cold shower after a warm one. With cold exposure, the muscles in the arteries are trained. The opening and closing of the muscular walls are like lifting weights at the gym. With training, it builds up strength. With each cold shower, the body improves immensely. The onset of natural adaptation happens rather quickly. Once the muscles in the arteries are strong enough, you'll be able to go on to your next phase. In the next phase, a physiological aspect comes in. Here, you don't want to take a warm shower before turning on the cold. Try stepping directly into a cold shower. This takes a lot more determination. The aim of the exercise is to be able to close your veins by sheer will. A big part of being able to do this is by focusing on your breathing. Try not to gasp when you are first exposed to the cold water. When you can do this and feel in control, the veins around the vital parts of the body contract, as well as the skin. This is all possible after gradual adaptation of phase 1. It is an essential step to develop naturally, without force. This phase helps your body consciously control the cardiovascular system. Through concentrated exercises, you will adapt fast. Your will is also tested through all of these exercises. You may think it would be much easier to simply turn off the shower and put on warm clothes, and this is in fact true, but you're not helping your body. In fact, you are doing the complete opposite. Listening to your intuition becomes a big part of this exercise. If you are willingly in the cold and accepting the exercise, your body will begin to give you signs that you're ready to move on to phase 3, ice water immersions. With the exercise in phase 1 and phase 2, you will have learned how to deal directly with the cold. You will then understand that it takes willpower and determination to get through the experience, as well as hopefully knowing your body better. The physiological development in phase 2 opens up a new range of possibilities. At this point, you will know how to influence the cardiovascular system, and you will have tapped into consciously communicating with the hypothalamus, our mental thermostat. Once you can control that, why not tap into another part of your brain? When you can consciously steer the hypothalamus, you can bring in visualization. We all daydream at times, but it's mostly done by our subconscious. I implore you to practice visualization by imagining how powerful you'll be when submerging yourself in ice water. Imagine yourself going in and feeling completely at ease. Know that there won't be a problem because your body will adapt. Now, visualize heat in your lower stomach. Imagine that with each breath, you are breathing in fire and it fills your body. It isn't hocus pocus, this actually works. Thinking that your body is getting warmer will actually make your body warmer. Just try it. I never had a teacher, I learned from my experiences. With a determined mind, I generated enough energy to deal with cold exposures. Eventually, I was able to build up my stamina by training in snow, ice water, and cold winds. These breathing techniques helped me do that. Phase 3 is different from the previous 2 phases. It is still in cold water, but the experience is much different. Your mindset is crucial to develop absolute control over your body. The ice water immersions take determination and visualization. Controlled breaths are essential. When you first slide into ice water, take controlled, conscious breaths. Do not gasp. Try to relax and let the body adapt naturally. Usually, this takes about 30 seconds before the body begins to feel at ease. And once you've relaxed, the mind will do its part and keep the body warm. Concentrate and visualize heat in your lower stomach. Breathe in and make the heat spread from your lower stomach to the outer parts of your body. When you breathe out, get rid of the cold. When you breathe in, use that breath to generate heat. Believe in yourself and trust whatever your body tells you. The experience is real, and it has been proven using scientific methods. With these exercises, we can fight disease and begin to live a healthy life. Just go within yourself and tap into your inner nature. Soon after giving the lecture you've just read, I was asked to give another lecture in front of the doctors of Albert Schweitzer's hospital in Rotterdam. It was my next big challenge. Manelli, the man who's doing a documentary on my life, came along as well. Together, we went with Onno, his cameraman. We drove in 2 cars to Rotterdam. It took us a long time because of the congested traffic, which is a very typical occurrence in the Netherlands, considering that every day there is construction on at least one road. After a few hours in the car, we had finally arrived at the location, the SS Rotterdam. It's a huge cruise ship in the harbor of Rotterdam. The ship was very impressive, but I tried to remain focused on what I would say in my lecture. We grabbed our gear from the cars and went to the receptionist desk. They sent us to the upper deck where we had a panoramic view over the harbor and the skyline of Rotterdam. Manelli and Onno got the cameras ready while I finished preparing the lecture in my head. The conference room took up the entire backside of the ship. 100 doctors, sitting in comfortable chairs adjacent to the little tables, occupied the room. The stage where the lectures were given was nicely done. There was a painted background on the back end that had images of mountains and rocks. Manelli and Onno began rolling the cameras, and the audience became quiet. An experienced speaker and a cardiologist introduced me. A microphone and a giant screen were my utensils to speak and visually show what I would normally do in my challenges. We showed 3 video clips. The first was my barefooted half-marathon ice run in Lapland. The second was my world record attempt swimming under ice water. The third was the physiological experiment that took place at Radboud University Hospital. When the video clips ended, I began speaking. Here's what I said. I have no program, no concrete story in my head that I'm going to tell you, but it's just the way that I am. Your energy and attention will help me guide this lecture. However, I do have a message. I want to show that everybody is capable of influencing the immune system. I don't care about the sequence of my words as long as the message is well understood and can be passed on to you. The lecture continued that way for a while. Soon my inhibitions were gone and my words flowed out like a river with a strong current. While I lectured, images and video footage played behind me. Everyone was captivated and listened carefully. The audience remained silent and attentive. I told them about going deep into myself, about the challenges that present themselves in hard nature, about exerting more effort than we usually can contribute, and about nature as my teacher. I explained that nature is hard, but righteous. I also told them about how I had learned to breathe differently, deeper, and more effective. I explained that my breathing helps me perform better in nature and makes me more capable of taking on impossible tasks. It may sound weird, but going into the extreme cold in nature, especially when you're barely wearing clothes, introduces a different state of mind. It's almost intuitive. I continued. Nature rules. Nature learns. Nature lectures. You have to go deep inside yourself to where the nervous system, immune system, cardiovascular system, heart, and mind all work together. When all these systems are working together, it guarantees a tremendous power. I've learned to trust this wholeheartedly. The sensation of overcoming the worrisome mind and controlling it is unmistakable. To be able to feel united in body and mind and not alienated from nature is a powerful thing. I have no fear of climbing without gear. I have the ability to avoid falling rocks reflexively without consciously seeing them fall. I have the ability to tell a cramp in my leg to go away. I could run a full marathon in shorts beyond the polar circle without any prior training whatsoever. I have the capability to use mind over matter. Deep trust is about knowing that you are fully capable of functioning at your best within your body and mind. The cold teaches you through powerful lessons. For hundreds of years, we have worn clothes and developed better fabrics to maintain our heat. We have confided in the warmth of our homes and avoided the cold as much as physically possible. We have settled for living comfortably, never testing out our boundaries. To keep our bodies strong, we need to train ourselves in nature. The cold is a powerful voice with a wise lesson. With the right adaptation, we can bring back control over the internal workings of our body. It helps us be more alert and reactive to any negative disturbances in our body. Let us take the cardiovascular system, for example. This can be conditioned to function better by doing gradual cold exposures. It is a system that has the ability to become stronger with training. Training the muscular walls of the arteries helps pump blood more efficiently throughout the body. I found that it even lowers 20 to 25 beats off of the resting heart rate. Overall, this aids in making your thoughts more peaceful and coherent. We are capable of building extraordinary structures, flying into space, and programming computers, yet we continually avoid the opportunity to explore our bodies and push their limits. Keep this in mind, young doctors, that we are at the forefront of new discoveries within the human mind and body. My message is that everyone is capable of influencing the immune system, and that the cold is a noble, natural force that can help teach us how to regain that ability. Our health is important. Why avoid this useful tool any longer? In medieval times, we thought the earth was flat and we wouldn't dare venture toward the horizon for fear of falling to our deaths. Imagine the fear that must have caused to be eternally trapped. Yet, we changed our mindsets and discovered new worlds because we were driven to challenge our perceptions. Our perception shapes the way that we live. A lot of the time, it can prevent us from reaching our potential. The cold is a force that must be taken seriously, as we do with the heat. When you're sitting in front of a fireplace, you think it's comfortable and nice. You don't stick your hand in the flames. And the same is true for the cold. You don't just dive into ice water, stay there for hours, and expect to live. You must gradually expose yourself. The best way to start is through cold showers. You don't need to be a professional football player to enjoy the health benefits of playing football. Just as well, you don't need to expose yourself to the extreme temperatures that I do to reach the immune system. All I'm suggesting is that we start fitting in a few cold showers into our weekly schedules. Feeling that my message was well understood, I thanked the audience for their time. Afterward, Manelli and Ono packed their cameras, we ate some dinner, and began our long drive back to Holland. We'd done well. It felt like I had taken a giant step in the right direction.